Hello everybody, we got a little bit of a late start, but we're going to try to give you a quick breeze through some of the most important products that FILA has. So we're going to focus on just a couple products. Our two cleaners, Epoxy Off, which is probably I would consider the industry leading epoxy remover. It's an alkaline cleaner, very strong. Deck, which is our cement grout haze remover, which is our acid. These are our two primary cleaning products. We're also going to talk briefly about MP90 Eco Plus, our sealer, which is our sealer one-stop for everything. And then we have finally silicone refinishing kit, which is how to make a perfect caulk line, silicone line, even if you're not good at this, which means it's something that I've learned how to do. Nicola is my real Italian technical person. I'm just faking it. Not Italian at all. So let's run through it. So first we're going to begin a demo on Epoxy Off. And why do I say begin? Because it takes about 20 minutes for this product to work, so we're going to try to make it work in 10. So why don't you show Nicola how to apply Epoxy Off on a really nasty epoxy residue. I will tell you the Epoxy Off is a gel, which is important for you to know because a lot of times if you have a backsplash and you have an epoxy grout haze residue on a vertical surface, this is an excellent product to use on vertical surfaces. Why? Because with an alkaline, you need to leave it on there as long as possible. The rule of thumb is for an alkaline is the longer it is on, the more the chemical works. And that's what dissolves that epoxy residue. We recommend that you leave it on at least 15-20 minutes. And you can just paint it on as you see Nicola doing. Is that good? All right. So this is going to be a little bit like a David Copperfield magic show. So you see how it is now? Now we're going to turn it and show you. You see, we've got some stuff going on here, don't we? Now this is your classic cement grout haze. Now cementitious grout haze is different from an epoxy. The epoxy is just, oh well, it's bad. A cement grout haze is bad as well, but Deck is a very simple way to resolve this very quickly. So whereas an epoxy grout haze requires at least 15-20 minutes of dwell time, the cementitious grout haze only requires about 5 minutes. And it just hits it really quick. It dissolves the cement in the grout haze, and it's very easy to clean. And where did Nicola go with, all right. I think he's coming with the Deck, with the product, no problem. Now generally, when you use Deck, it's a very simple dilution. It's 1 to 5. 1 part chemical, 5 parts water. So it's very easy to use. It is a buffered acid, which means that it's not dangerous. It doesn't have dangerous fumes. If you dilute it properly, you don't have issues with it oxidizing the steel trim. I've been on several jobs where I've seen the trim absolutely oxidized because they were using some kind of muriatic acid or hydrochloric acid that gets airborne and it oxidizes all the metal in like a bathroom. So you can see this is a very, very quick cleanup. And he's just using just a normal sponge and just normal water. Nothing special about what we're doing here. Do you want to use any of this? Up. Oh. There you go. All right, so that's a D-Direct clean. Now, while this epoxy is doing things behind here, we're going to go and talk about our sealers really quickly. MP90 is the one-stop shop for sealers. You can use it on everything. I will tell you that FILA, we get compared to all the other brands an awful lot. We were specified at the Google headquarters for one simple reason. They basically tested all the sealers in the market, and their test was very simple. They put a treated piece, a piece that had been treated, dipped in the sealer, and they put it in a vat of coffee overnight to see which sealer would survive. And the only one that did was FILA, and we got the job. So this is us putting a treated and untreated piece into a vat of coffee. And so you'll see the part that is treated, it comes right off. The other part, the exact same stone. It will absorb that coffee and it will stain. Not hard to tell which one was successful, correct. Another characteristic of MP90 Eco Plus is that it's very good at water repellents. So this is a treated piece, and you can see how it beads up. A lot of people ask me, how do I know how long the sealer is effective? A very easy rule of thumb is every year, throw some water on the surface, and if it repels, then you know the sealer is working. This is what the same piece looks like that was not treated with MP90 Eco Plus. It's very absorbent, and that's how it is. So that's the beading process. We don't have, non abbiamo la pompe. No. Okay, va bene. Okay, we're going to do a really quick demo of how you treat the stone. You don't dilute MP90 Eco Plus with anything. You're just going to apply it evenly across the surface, paintbrush, lamb's wool, microfiber cloth, mop in some cases, sprayed on, it doesn't really matter. There's lots of ways to do it. The important thing is to get a nice even application so you don't have streaking. Streaking usually is an issue with the light colored limestones. So if you apply it correctly, you just let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you wipe off the residue with a microfiber cloth. And that's really all you do. The only thing you have to be careful of with a sealer is to make sure that you remove the residue. So after you've done your application, you have to rub it vigorously and just make sure there is no residue. How do you know if there's a residue? Very simply, if it's still tacky, if it still looks like it's going to stick to your finger, or it's kind of grainy, that means that you left a residue. So what you need to do is you need to rub some more, or you can also, if it's been on there for a while, you could also put a little bit of the sealer on a microfiber cloth, and then you reactivate the sealer and you rub it again. That's another way of removing that residue. The third way to remove a residue, if it's been on there for, say, like a week or so, is we have a product called Pro Strip. It's a stripper. It will remove the residue, and then you're going to have to clean and start over. Oh, we do have the pump. A third thing that I want to mention about MP90 Eco Plus is it is a breathable sealer. What does that mean? We have sealed the top of this surface, and we have water, and this shows you that the air is breathing through the surface, and the sealer is not keeping the air or the water or anything contained. It literally breathes through the sealer. This is very important because you want your substrate to breathe. That way it cleans, or pardon me, it basically dries properly, and you don't have problem with water escaping and doing damage on your install. So breathability is a very important thing. And the last thing I'll mention about MP90 Eco Plus is that it sets up in 4 hours. You can walk on it, you can get off the job, you're done. So, and you don't have fumes, no VOCs, so it's very easy for residential jobs, and also it's very quick for commercial jobs. All right, lastly, well, actually we still have to show you this epoxy in the back. When are we going to do that? Yeah, you remove the residue. Okay. Removing the residue is very simple. Basically, you're just going to wipe the sealer. MP90 Eco Plus is a natural look sealer. So it will not change the look of the sealer once it's dry. It will return to the same color that the stone was originally. Should we turn this around, or do you want to? Okay, let's try. Let's try. Okay. If you remember, he treated this area right here. And now let's see if we can just rinse it and remove it. And you know this hasn't been a full 15 minutes, but we're gonna do it anyways. Nothing? So even with a heavy epoxy residue and leaving it on there just a couple of minutes, you'll see that the epoxy off is releasing the epoxy. Another thing I'll mention, that a lot of times when people do cleaning, and I get somebody calls up and says, I used your product, it didn't work. I ask them, what did you do? And a lot of times in the US, it seems that people think you just kind of put something on there and then you wipe it off. That's not real cleaning. Real cleaning requires three things. First of all, you dilute the product properly, because you need water to activate it. The second thing is you need to leave the product on there for the time that we tell you to leave it on there, especially in the case of an alkaline. The longer you leave it on there, the more it cleans and the easier it cleans. And thirdly, you need, thirdly of four, you need to use mechanical pressure. A lot of times people are just wiping things off, and that does not work. You actually need to scrub. We recommend Scotch pads, brushes, primarily because it will actually remove the materials. And lastly, make sure to rinse thoroughly, because you do not want to leave a chemical on a surface, whether it's alkaline, acid, or anything. You want to make sure that that is completely gone. So there you go. You can see here, and if you were to touch it, you can see there is no more residue. And so that's epoxy off. Generally, and this is what it was before. If we were to leave this on there for like 20 minutes, it would be much even easier to put on. Lastly, and then we're done, silicone refiner kit is, as I promised, this is, oh, I don't want to say this, Nicola, but it's caulk lines for dummies. How to do the perfect caulk line every time without spitting on your finger. I'm sure nobody here does that, right? So first you got to get a nasty caulk line. Are you able to do that? Can you do nasty? That's actually not too bad. See, this is the type of thing that I should have been the one applying it. Then it would have been nasty. So all you do is, after you've caulked it, you spray the silicone refiner liquid on the surface, on the caulking, and then immediately you can take the tool, which can show you, it gives you the perfect caulk line in one shot without, I guess you want some of the, you want to wipe anything off? So it's the perfect way to get it's the best way to get a perfect caulk line immediately without having to do any of the usual things that we do. All right, thank you very much. These are the FILA innovations. They're available in the market. We're right over there. We can tell you about how to find our products. They're very easy to find both online and in some of our great retailers across the country. And FILA tries to come up with some of these innovative products every year. So look for the next innovation next year. Thank you very much.